maybe, everything in your relationship appears quite normal. But you may have found yourself more and more disconnected to your husband. Now, you start to complain that you have fully bought into the marriage. And that he doesn't reciprocate your attention and love. Maybe, your husband is the first to emotionally withdraw in your marriage. But that does not mean he is the only one responsible for the deterioration of the relationship alone. You can't guarantee that he will instantly change himself for you and come close to you. If you want to attract your husband again, you should take initiative to change yourself to attract your husband again emotionally. If you have no idea how to attract your husband, continue watching this video till the end. Because in this video, I will give you 6 tips on how to attract your husband again. Now, let's begin. Tip number 1. If you want to attract your husband, you should express your genuine admiration. The majority of husbands are men with a strong desire to win praise and appreciation from their women. I bet your husband is also not exceptional. Usually, a husband knows well that he cannot be a hero who can save the world, but he is trying to be the hero of his woman. That kind of heroic deeds deserves his woman's admiration. If you fail to activate this hero instinct, inevitably his attention will also wander until he gets another woman to fill the gap. Tip number 2. If you want to attract your husband, you should display your best self to impress him. Do you really know what your man likes most about you? A lot of married women thinks that what men most like about them is what they are good at. For example, you are good at cooking, but he is very busy every day and gets accustomed to eating takeout or home-delivered meals. If so, you do not have to knock yourself out cooking tasty food for him. As to what he likes about you, you should spend some time thinking about it carefully. When your man senses that you are dedicated to giving him the part of you that he likes, he will be pleased to see this change. Tip number 3. Don't be too needy. If you can't take care of yourself emotionally in daily life, you will often seek your man's validation to make you feel good. And once he is not willing to be in tune with you, you are apt to be critical of him. Over time, he may interpret it as your demanding behavior towards him instead of your loving behavior. Therefore, he may withhold his affection, and thereby your relationship may feel like a competition of needs. Remember, if you are too needy in your marriage, everything you do to attract your husband's attention can be cancelled out. Hence, it is very important to overcome your neediness in your marriage. Tip number 4. Be cautious of bringing up his past. Don't overlook his past because it is also an important part of his identity. Sometimes, you mention his unpleasant past without any intention of hurting him emotionally. However, he may interpret it as your disrespect, criticism, or rejection. On the contrary, if you mention something great that he ever did for you in front of him, he will appreciate you and get more attracted to you emotionally. So, no matter what your relationship status is, don't discount his past and put him down, especially if he is less capable than before. Tip number 5. Make him feel fully accepted in your marriage. One of the important emotional needs of your husband is to feel fully accepted in the relationship. Surely, your husband has some sort of faults. Yet, you cannot attract him emotionally by pointing them out in front of other people in spite of your good intentions. You do not have to show up his personality blemishes unless you have to deal with them. Even though you have to deal with them, make sure to do it in a secure and loving manner. No one is without weaknesses and flaws. Actually, being kind and forgiving to your husband is also just like being kind and forgiving to yourself ultimately. If you are kinder and more forgiving towards him, you will also receive more of his kindness and forgiveness later. Tip number 6. If you want to attract your husband, you should be more empathetic with him. A good way to work through a rough patch in a marriage is to practice empathizing with your husband. Showing empathy can enhance communication as well as emotional intimacy in marriage. Being empathetic means you should try to understand and imagine your man's feelings. Empathy empowers your husband by providing a strong sense of connection and togetherness that is formed by mutual identification for him. It acts as a cushion of understanding that can help the two of you avoid marriage bumps in the road. By tapping into an emotional resonance, the two of you can come into contact with each other on a deep emotional level, regardless of what he is feeling. Remember, Preserving your charm in your husband's heart and mind is not just about having an attractive physical appearance. Spending time to look pretty and dressing to get your husband's attention is also not a fundamental way to get him to put you first. All the tips mentioned in this video can make you more concerned about your husband's inner world to better meet his emotional needs. If you feel like you have already been in an emotional desert, begging your man to give you one drop of the attention and love you need, you might want to check out the guide that I highly recommend in the link below this video. The guide below offers straightforward, practical guidance on how to connect with your man and attract him deeply.